Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios, a great fight. Very excited for this fight. But what is this fight when it comes down to it? What is this bout? What makes sense? Well, to me, it's the equivalent. And I know I have multiple versions of this going out, so this is an exclusive of exclusive right here, my take, because the audio to video sync got messed up. To me, the bout is no different than when the Rolling Stones go on the reunion tour last year, maybe 2 years ago. We saw it with the Hot Boys, Lil Wayne, and all those guys went on tour. There's typically a 20-year window in music, maybe 40-year with video games, and with boxers, maybe 10-year window where a fighter might have had a prime or a good era 10 years prior, and a generation remembers them, and it's an attraction of their youth. I would say you're 10 years old. Now this fight comes around, you're 25 or you're 20, right? Not 15 years. So you're 10, now you're 20. You're 15, now you're 25. You're 20, you're 30. So in theory, you might have a little bit more money than you did before, but the fight reminds you of a nostalgic period of your life. Oh, I remember maybe a family member who's no longer here who used to watch Pacquiao with me, etc. The matchup itself to me reminds me of a memory in and of itself. I remember sitting at a kitchen table like we always did in the morning with my grandpa, and he decided to get the Ray Leonard Hector Camacho fight. And I go, wow, Ray Leonard, someone I always grew up hearing such great things about. I watched VHS tapes on him, but I'm not some mega boxing nerd. Now I'm a degenerate, but at the time I wasn't some mega nerd. I just knew he was a really good fighter. I knew his name was famous and that he accomplished a lot. I couldn't tell you what. So we get the pay-per-view. He's older. I had heard that, the fight might not go his way. And then you watch it and you see this Hector Camacho beat him. And your natural inclination is to feel bad, right? Because you tuned in not knowing anything about Ray Leonard. But then when you go back and you look at it from a historical standpoint, you understand that was the more in his prime fighter. That was the more active fighter, and age is real in combat sports. So I think a lot of people are tuning in because the Pacquiao thing is very fun. When you go and look at his media workout, it's a very unique experience. There are a ton of reporters there who are like, it's just a different experience compared to your week in, week out monotonous grind of boxing coverage, right? There's more stuff. It's fascinating. He's one of the 20 best fighters, more than likely. He's an interesting figure in the sport. He's also in his mid-40s. Mario Barrios has had up and down peaks in his career, but he's showing a level of stability to stay at the highest level of the sport. He has a win over Yordenis Ugas, who beat Manny Pacquiao, which I think a lot of people are overlooking. And he is the champion, albeit his fight with Abel Ramos. He got a draw. He probably should have won it. I think there was a temperament issue in that fight, but it's another thing. Like, I think when he had knocked down Abel, he really needed to step on it. He kind of backed off and let Abel back in that fight. Something to learn on for this fight. But I think the big thing in this fight is Mario's going to weaponize his youth more than likely. And Pacquiao, I think, is going to... The really great fighters typically have it in the gym, and they're able to do things at a high level. It's just on fight night they don't always show up. We saw that with Cotto. We've seen that at times with Pacquiao. And my gut feeling going into this one is it's going to be neat to have in the middle of the summer a fight like this. But I think we're going to remember just how long ago, 2008, 2007, 2010, those great Pacquiao era, that great window is now almost a full adult lifetime away. It's almost 18 years ago. In fact, I think it might actually be 18 years ago. So I think that this fight, to me, I'd never doubt a legend, but it's hard to be a logical person and believe that Pacquiao is going to beat a young champion who maybe people look at as vulnerable, but he's still a very, very good fighter who's gotten big wins. And to me, I think that this is going to be one of those moments like Ray Leonard fighting Camacho where people want to see one thing, and in the end, they see a younger fighter get the victory.